It's that balance between future and past that is, I feel, a key ingredient into creating a relevant product that stays through time. A watch is forever. My name is Octavio Garcia. I was born and raised in Chicago, and my journey in the watch industry as a designer begins in 1999 as a designer for Omega watches. Needless to say, that was an extraordinary experience for me. Following that experience, in 2003, I went to the Jura Mountains, to Audemars-Piguet, and worked with some of the greatest watchmakers in the world. I got the opportunity to revitalize one of the most iconic watches in the watch industry, designed by the Maestro himself, Mr. Gérald Genta, the Royal Oak 15202. The first time I met Mr. Genta was during the development of the 40th anniversary of the Royal Oak. I was able to get his points of view. He also showed me original works that he'd done. That's where the relationship developed.
Working with Octavio is a pleasure. It was very interesting to learn from him, from his great experience, from his vast experience, and he proved to be extremely capable in building something which is new, unique and different, but still respecting the legacy, respecting the origins and understanding where everything comes from.
The Gérald Charles brand is a very personal, intimate point of view of watchmaking, with very bold, strong design. In a way, that's an advantage for a designer because you have a path that's already very much defined. And the idea is to use that path to continue his legacy. At the same time, we wanted to create a skeleton movement that projected the brand into the future, bringing these two very strong formal languages and making them a homogeneous product was the challenge. The design process begins always with a brief. In the case of the Gerald Charles Maestro project, it was Federico that briefed me on his points of view of where we could take the watch. There's a technical package as well that has to be taken into consideration, and it's around these constraints and these points of views that I begin my work.
What was extremely complex in this journey we did with Octavio over the years for the development of this Maestro skeleton was really combining the technical constraints, the technical aspects, the manufacturing requirements with the aesthetic requirements, the design requirements.
Art and technical mastery are key ingredients to innovation. It was really a dialogue with Federico. I wanted to make sure that he was on board with the direction. The process of refinement really involved him as well. But at one point, I also felt instinctively that I was on the right path. The challenge in general with skeleton movements is readability. So finding the right balance between both beauty and usability was probably the most challenging part of the design process.
This was for me and Octavio and for the whole Gerald Charles design team a very important requirement because it's not obvious to make a legible skeleton because of the complexity of the movement and the absence of a dial. The watch needs to tell time and needs to tell time clearly. This was certainly something that we achieved.
When I learned that we were going to collaborate with Vaucher, I was delighted. Vaucher has an extraordinary team of engineers. They have an incredible bespoke savoir-faire that's very rare in the Swiss watch industry.
Vaucher is well known for being the leader in combining strength and resilience in their movement with the artisanal component of end finishing and handmade manufacturing. And this gave us the certainty that they were the right partner for this watch. This skeleton timepiece is a timepiece that you can look and watch for hours, and every time you can spot a different detail, a different angle, and you can easily get lost into its movement bridges, into its gears, into its design, into its great balance. So this watch goes certainly beyond telling time. It is the whole experience of wearing it and owning it.